All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream. Tonight we're going to be looking into Reaktor. We're going to be designing some more sounds, looking at some other things that we can do with generative sound inside of Reaktor. So I'm going to be creating an evolving melodic groove using Reaktor's built-in modules. So let's start that. I'm just going to start out by opening up Reaktor. And when you open it up, you're going to have three different sections. One is the play section, one is the patch section, and one is the build section. Today we're going to be looking into the build section and starting from there. So we got that open. All right, so again, welcome everybody to today's stream. Today I'm going to show you how to create a generative melodic groove in Reaktor. And we're going to use some basic simple modules. This is perfect for ambient music, again, technical music, even cinematic, sound design. So stick around and by the end of this session, you'll have a cool evolving patch. So we're going to start adding modules in. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the player section. We're going to grab in some blocks. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab the clock module. So I bring in a clock module just so that I can have timing. This is like the brain of our patch when you think about it. It's controlling the tempo. So next we'll add our LFO to modulate some of the parameters. So I'm going to go into the LFO section, bento box or collection, grab an LFO, bring that in, and then I'm going to need an 8-step sequencer. So I'll bring in an 8-step sequencer here, and that's our next piece. Then I'll need the foundation of our sound, which is going to be an oscillator. We can grab any oscillator because we can change that pitch to anything that we want it to be. And finally, I think I'm going to use a quantizer today just so that we can have something that's in key to whatever we're creating. So I'm going to bring in let's bring in a quantizer. So I'm going to start connecting up some of these blocks so it doesn't get overwhelming with what we have here. So I'm going to go to I'm going to grab a note in because that's going to be our first module. Actually, we may not even need that. Yeah, we will need that. So let me just connect these two up. Then we'll bring that there. We'll need a filter as well. And finally, we're going out to an amplifier, which is going to send it to our left and right speakers. So I can go ahead and connect that amplifier, connect that filter. Maybe I should go from the beginning because we need one more piece. We do need a note in to receive MIDI information from our keyboard or MIDI signal. And that's going to get us started. So I'm going to move around some of these pieces just so that we can get started. Looks like that. And then we'll connect up our gate. So gate, oh, that's the wrong one. Gate goes to gate. Reset goes to reset. We connect our pitch to our note in. So when we play a note on our keyboard, it'll initiate the step. So if we don't connect it, we can actually see what happens. I'm going to connect my oscillator, my quantizer, and go out to my filter. And then I'm going to make sure we can hear something. So I'm going to have to initiate the volume. And then I'm gonna fix up our panel a little bit, make sure things are a little bit in a better order, so you can visualize our signal flow. That looks okay to me. So right now it's just playing through. We're gonna need an envelope so that our actual step sequencer can be triggered. So I'm going to bring an envelope in, connect that to our VCA, voltage controlled amplifier, and connect the gate input there. Then I'm gonna increase the modulation depth on our VCA, and then actually I'm gonna start our clock. I could have just did that instead. So that will start our clock. But now we have envelope control. I could just have no modulation and you wouldn't hear anything. You would have to turn the volume up. So modulation depth. So because we have modulation depth, it can turn on off using a gate signal for on off control. And that's as simple as it gets, or complex, and it's literally playing a note. So we have our notes, and then our clock is running them. So now we can go ahead and mess with our sound. Take our LFO, really modulate our sound a little bit more. Maybe connect that to our oscillator. Turn up the LFO rate. Control the modulation. Or connect it to the frequency modulation. And we can turn on the volume just a little bit. Just going to make sure sound is coming through. Okay, that will be under our MIDI control. Just double checking that we can hear in Reaktor. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to close out of Reaktor, minimize the Ableton, and we're going to jump back into Reaktor. And let's try that again. Okay. So since we can't get our sound to properly record in, something's going on with the audio device, I'm going to just record what we have. So I guess this is a way of showing you another way of doing it. I'm just going to pause that, close it out. We're going to open up Live, and we're going to play the patch in Live. And once that's done, open it up. It's right there. Okay, hopefully we can hear it now playing in the background. We're just playing it nested inside of Reaktor, nested inside of Ableton right now. So I can continue tweaking this. Maybe we want a little reverb, another effect on there. Maybe some distortion. So I'm going to add that by editing our panel. It's just the only downside is here, you can't undo. So you got to be careful when you're working in the within the DAW view of Reaktor, because you can't go backwards. As in, if I add something, I can't press Command D and duplicate it in here. For some reason, that's just how the one of the quirks of the program or the software. You have to be in the standalone version. So there's benefits. This is I would suggest this is a more advanced way of using it as a plugin rather than as a standalone device. So there we go. Got a little distortion on there. Turn up the color, and then I want to add a little bit of actual maybe reverb. So you bring that reverb in here. And we connect it up. can make it rhythmic. You can slow it down, add less steps. And there you have it. You have pretty much a finished patch. So you can go ahead and you can save that just over the last snapshot you had, just exactly as it was, which I'm going to do. The red light lights up and you save it. And that's pretty much our patch. You can then go ahead, since we're in a DAW, we can just record that or use it any way we want. Maybe add an audio track, resample it, take the texture and use it somewhere else. Any way you want to use it, you can do that. I'm just going to record it in here, just so we have record that into. I think I muted it, so unmute it, and then we can actually record that into Ableton. Just to have a sample, you can use that sample in any of our compositions. So that's pretty much it. And then you have a sample that you can use at any time. Maybe add a drum beat to it. So you can turn that into a loop. And there you have it. Well, that concludes our session for today. Let me know what you want to see in another live stream in a future session, and I'll be sure to possibly include that in another lesson or session. And hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a follow for more Reaktor and sound design content, and check out the full Reaktor sound design course if you want to dive deeper into creating patches like this. And I'll see you on the next stream. Peace out.